In the sleepy town of Ravenswood, a sense of unease settled over its residents like a shroud. It started with small things. Tools gone missing, strange noises in the night, and an unshakable feeling of being watched. At first, the townsfolk dismissed it as mere paranoia, but soon, the occurrences grew more frequent and more brazen. People began to vanish. The first to disappear was Emily, a bright and cheerful schoolteacher. Her car was found abandoned on the outskirts of town, the engine still running, but there was no sign of Emily. As the search parties combed the forest, they stumbled upon an ancient, decrepit mansion hidden deep within the trees. The mansion loomed over the town like a specter, its windows boarded up, and its doors sealed with rusty hinges. The townsfolk avoided the mansion, whispering tales of dark rituals and human sacrifices. But one brave soul, a young journalist named Sarah, decided to investigate. As Sarah approached the mansion, she felt an intense, creeping dread. The air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to twist and writhe around her. She pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside. The interior was musty and decaying, cobwebs clinging to the chandeliers. But it was the walls that made Sarah's blood run cold. They were adorned with ancient symbols, etched into the wood in a language she couldn't understand. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died. Sarah was plunged into darkness, surrounded by an oppressive silence. And then, she heard the whispers. They started as a gentle hum, growing louder and more urgent. The whispers seemed to come from all directions, echoing off the walls. Sarah spun around, desperate to locate the source, but there was no one in sight. The whispers grew clearer, forming words and phrases. Sarah's heart racing, she realized that the voices were calling her name. As she stumbled backward, tripping over her own feet, the whispers ceased. The darkness was absolute, and Sarah was alone. The next morning, the townsfolk found Sarah's car parked outside the mansion, the engine still running. But Sarah was never seen again. The town of Ravenswood was never the same. The disappearances continued, and the townsfolk lived in terror of the dark forces that lurked within the mansion's walls. Years later, a group of brave explorers decided to investigate the mansion. They entered, laughing and joking, but their merriment was short-lived. As they explored the dusty halls, they stumbled upon a hidden room. Inside, they found a series of ancient artifacts and a journal belonging to Sarah. The journal revealed the horrifying truth. The mansion was a portal to a dark dimension. And the whispers were the voices of the damned, calling out to the living. As the explorers read the final entry, the lights flickered, and the whispers began once more. The explorers tried to flee, but it was too late. They were consumed by the darkness, never to be seen again. The town of Ravenswood remains abandoned to this day, a haunted testament to the horrors that lurk within the shadows. And if you listen closely, on certain nights, you can still hear the whispers, calling out to the brave and the foolhardy.